Today is the greatest day of an own. Didn't live for tomorrow. I'm gonna start singing all the time in the car for you guys. I know I'm terrible, and I really don't even know the words, but Smashing Pumpkins, something about today is the greatest day and tomorrow's not really, you don't know it. So live for today. And that's why I'm heading out to Pennsylvania deer camp. This is where I began hunting, and it's very special to me and close to my heart. We had a great Thanksgiving yesterday. I didn't get to hang out with my whole family. Many of you might not know this, but Nick, Moxie Nick, is my first cousin, and him and I grew up together. And Adam and Dawn are lifelong friends of ours. And Josh has been a lifelong friend of mine, all the way back basically to 10 years old, and he's like a brother to me. So all of us got together and started Moxie. Unfortunately, archery season for me in PA did not go as planned. Even though I shot my deer in Ohio, one tag, early in the season, November 2nd, I thought I'd have a lot of time to hunt PA, and it just didn't happen that way. And then obviously a busted weekend, like I mentioned 2 weekends ago, I think it was. My hands are still healing up. It was never anything serious, just really uncomfortable and a really bad part to injure your body when you're bow hunting. So it's gun season. I'm in redemption mode right now. There's a nice big deer that lives right behind camp. The guys have seen it that live out there. So that's where I'm going. I'm hunting some laurels. If you guys and girls hunt PA, you know that there are tons of laurels in PA throughout the state, and the deer love the bedded in. Not typically what we do. We're archers, no doubt, first. This is a lot more about the camaraderie of rifle season. A lot of guys who hunt can't bow hunt anymore, so they turn to rifle. This is where it all started. This is the original hunt for Moxie Dave. All right, fire in the hole. So that's my Savage 30-06, what I used to hunt with in PA. Now comes the Marlin 4570, straight cartridge, legal in Ohio. You have to have a straight cartridge for Ohio shotgun as well. Let's go sight that one in. The Marlin 4570, short barrel. So this is a bush gun. Let's see how well it's sighted in. All right, fire in the hole. About 2 inches high, so at 100, I want to bring that down a little bit. And this is a heavy 300 grain bullet, so it'll drop pretty quick. A little left. as well. I want to come right. So let's just bring it an inch right before it clicks. Right about there. This should be it. All right, let's let it rip. Looks like I brought it down way too much. Thank you. The funny thing about this is all the guys are behind the house, so they're safe, but they could see the target better than I. A lot of pressure, don't get me wrong. Still not as much pressure as being in the woods and a big 10-point staring at you. Fire the hole! Saturday morning, opening day, Pennsylvania rifle season. I got my lucky hat on. It's been a lucky hat since I was a kid. So hopefully I get a buck that big. I'm set up on this rock, on this hillside, pretty steep hill. And there's a road right there. And all these deer cross the road and come up in the side and bed up on the hill behind me. And this is where the locals said they see the big boy, big 10-point. So hopefully he crosses this way. We had some turkey on the other side of the road. Also a great turkey spot. And apparently a woodpecker too. And it's gotta be 45 degrees right now, which is crazy for this time of year. Usually it's about 25, 30. I got my Savage 30-06 with my Bushnell scope. Anything 3.5 and older, more than likely I'm gonna shoot. That's a good deer out here in western Pennsylvania. So there's antler restrictions in PA. It has to be 3 up. So, not including the brow tine, there needs to be 3 points, main beam, and a G2 and a G3. Or a combination of something like that. So typically it's gonna be an 8-point with a brow tine. Or, 4 on one side, 7, 8, 9, whatever. But typically it's 4 on one side with the brow tine. I hunted here for years, and they put the antler restriction probably 15 years ago. And ever since then, before that, I can remember only seeing 6s and 4 points. A lot like the guys down in West Virginia see. Nick and Adam go down there, and it's a lot like hunting down there. But they put the antler restrictions in, and now you've got some really nice deer. They get to live longer. They've always been bigger bodied than West Virginia, but these are still mountain deer. Well, steep hill deer, not mountain deer. Looks like I'm doing about 100 yards out. That morning hunt was decent. 5 different deer, saw 3 of those running, and then 2 others that were just a little too far out to get on camera. But I'm gonna head over to the other property where I bow hunted a few times. It's exactly 11 o'clock, so got about 6 hours left of hunting. This is how I grew up hunting. In a box, a deer blind, whatever you want to call it. 4 walls, basically 270 degrees, you could see, and a rifle. I'm gonna put my GoPro on my gun facing out. What happens this time of year, if you hunt heavily hunted states, there's so much pressure during these 2 weeks that the deer just go in lockdown mode. They just bed down for the day. They limit their movement to night. You have the first 2 hours and the last 2 hours of light to get it done, unless someone kicks a deer up, another hunter on another property, a hunter on your property. So actually some of the best times to hunt is from 11 to 1:30. It's almost noon, so I kicked 1 deer up. It looked like a spike walking to the box. I took my time, took about 30-40 minutes just to walk out here. When I'm creeping through the woods, go tree to tree to tree. Don't walk a straight line. Because what happens if that deer's running from another hunter kicking it up and you two are on a collision course, he's gonna pick you out if you don't have cover. So when you walk through the woods with a gun, go tree to tree to tree. That way, if something's coming, you can always use that tree as cover and a rest for your gun. So a little tip for you. I've never successfully done it, but I'm gonna give you a little view of what I'm looking at. Just bedded down about 5 minutes ago, so it's about 2:30. They were with what looked like a little button buck, and that button buck cruised on through. So if they follow that path that he went, I'll get a nice shot. Again, I'm not sure what it is, but I saw antlers, and usually that means it's going to be a shooter if you can see him from that far away. So I'm actually a little nervous right now. Got the shakes. I don't know why, but hopefully they stand up and start moving before dark.
It's getting dark in these woods right now. Again, the sun is still up and I can see the sun shining on the trees. But where I'm at, it's so dark that the deer are starting to move. We had 3 doe come in, or a mom and some little ones come in. And it brought one of those 2 deer up. And it was like a fork on one side and maybe a spike on the other, young deer. He chased her around a little bit. So I don't know if that was another deer over there bedded down. Whatever it was, it's still there. So it might be a deer, it might be a log. I told you I'm looking in this scope too long. It's been almost 2 hours since I first saw those deer bed down, and I'm starting to look like this. Where'd the deer go? Right. Whoa, buddy. The boys come out at night. I think I put a good shot on that buck. We shall see. Alright, so it's just last light. Mind you, it's darker in these woods than it is everywhere else. It's still legal light, obviously, but it was dark in these woods. I saw a nice big buck. There was about 4 or 5 bucks just all posturing up. I grunted. His head was behind a tree, but I could see his front shoulder, and he was quartering away, so I knew his backside shoulder was even further up. I can't even talk right now. All right, I'm gonna go over, see if I can't find blood, and see if I got a PA buck down. Ooh, buddy. That right there is my bullet. Literally, look at this. It went in right there. I'm talking 2 inches. Oh, it was a good buck too. Looked like a big heavy 8. Son of a gun. That is some disappointment. I know I didn't get him on film, so you're not missing much on your end, but I definitely am.
That's it, Howard. I had a hell of a time, though.
You wouldn't want to Glenn's tree. So it was a
Well, at
nice
least you had a shot at him because I didn't.
Well, getting ready for the last hunt of the year. A little bittersweet. Who knows what could happen? Anything can happen in the woods, but my season started off really low. I put a ton of effort into this small little property that I bought, put a food plot in, saw some giant deer, watched them grow, built a box blind, all that effort. And I'm not saying it was wasted because any effort in the woods is not wasted. But I wasn't seeing those deer when the season started. Going into the season, say 3, 4, 5 days before the season, 7 p.m., it was still light. There they were, right in the center of the field. Right when the season hit, though, I wanted to watch my trail cam because a few days going into the season, they disappeared. So I gave it a little time. I started hunting mid-October. Really my first serious hunt in that box. And I say serious meaning I played the wind right, I played the weather right. I had given a little bit of time for it to die down since I'd been there. And I got aggressive, got in the blind. Next thing you know, they start brush hogging the Christmas tree farm behind me.
Unreal. There's no way he's been 3 days going at this. And the day that he did this, Sunday,
When you came out?
is when I came out. And I knew, get out, because there's no way a deer's coming in. But you got something to make me feel better? Unreal. That's hunting, man. It's not just you in the woods.
And to say that I was disappointed in that was an understatement. That's the low. So I adjusted. I've been hunting Eastern Ohio for quite some time. Never shot a big mature buck. I've passed up on a lot of other bucks, but I always wanted to shoot a mature buck out there. Never was able to do it. So this year I said, let's switch it up and go out east. Literally the second day hunting out there, shot that nice 155-inch deer, and it could not have been a better hunt, a better week. The deer could not have been and done anything more perfect than what it did, and I did everything right. Luck, skill, practice, whatever you want to call it. It was a combination of all that. That's the high. PA. So it was the first full weekend of the rut, that first weekend in November. Didn't really get on any good deer. For whatever reason, that's the way it fell. So next weekend, now I'm really on a good spot. I did a little scouting that weekend prior. I got a 3-day hunt and I tore my hands up. Stupid mistake, but you know what? Luckily it was a minor injury, but it did ruin my whole weekend because again, my hands are all cut up. Bow hunting, really tough to do. I knew gun season was coming up and at least I had another opportunity. Opening weekend, opening night, saw that big buck at 5 p.m., took that shot, hit the tree. You know the story. Came back this weekend, my last weekend hunting, in hopes to see either one of those 2 deer. I hunted Thursday, Friday, nothing. So last hunt, last night, last hunt of our inaugural season for me, for Moxie. So a little emotional, but it's been a wild year. We started this whole thing right before the pandemic hit. Encourage all you to get out and hunt because COVID doesn't live in the woods, but there's so much more to it. So join me in my last hunt of the year. See ya.
Alright, it's 3:08. I haven't seen a deer. What I did see, though, was a large pizza with pepperoni and banana peppers, and it was delicious. We broke for lunch, got back in the blind about 1, and we got about 2 hours until dark. This is when it happens in this box. It's not really a morning box, but I've sort of claimed the box. If you know a group of guys that hunt together, when you give up a spot, you don't get it back. So you sort of have to commit. Hopefully there's a bunch of other hunters on other properties moving those deer around. Till then, I'm just gonna sit back and relax.
So the old man shot a big one. Let's see what it was. Congratulations on the beast.
Last thing I thought I'd see today was that thing. Last thing I thought I'd ever see today was that thing.
What a beast.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked when I turned around and saw it.
What a beast. I don't think that's the same one. You don't know because it curls so much, but we'll take a look to see if it's the same deer. But anyway, that's a beast.
Right now, you just need chips.
No, let him get his wallet. Let him get his wallet.
That's all.
David has his camera, so he
Do I have to get dressed to play cards?
wants to take a picture of you.
The old man.
Great. 68 going on 69, magic number.
How's that working out for you?
Not too good lately.
Whoa! He's knocking.